known to the Voortrekkers as Mountains of Dragons, and to the Zulus as Zukshalamba, barriers of appointed spears. Alan Jacobs hosted and guided. Michael Bird, Ken Beveridge, Tim Cobain, and Jost Wiederhold. Hiking from the foot of the amphitheatre 1.2 kilometers to the plateau Monte Sources 3.25 kilometers above sea level. Our adventure commenced on a Friday in July 1963 with clear skies and warm winter afternoon at the Royal Natal National Hotel and its grounds. Michael could not help himself. His skills came to the fore, painting such beautiful surrounds. A sheer wall of rock, some 5 kilometers in length, from the eastern buttress containing the needle to the Sentinel Peak in the west, and precipitous cliffs rising approximately 1,200 meters along its entire length, the Amphitheatre. In the late afternoon, we undertook a short hike near the foot of the amphitheatre, also the foot of the Tugela Falls. Readying ourselves for what lay ahead, we had the opportunity of checking out a chain ladder, making sure no one falls. In the early hours of Saturday morning, we set off on an easy 7-kilometer trail up the Tugela Gorge with food and liquids on our backs, essential resources. Stopping for breakfast in amongst the indigenous forest in order to conquer Monte Sources. Allyn guided us, only he knew, on a path. With no signs, one can easily take the wrong path. By noon, we had reached about 2.5 kilometers above sea level, about 1.3 kilometers above where we had started from. Time to take a breather. Time to absorb the spectacular views of the amphitheatre and the Tugela Falls. Although a bit nippy in rarefied air, yet in glorious weather. Onward we go, winding around the mountain verges, with snow covering the southern edges. Time for a break as we reach the chain ladder. At this point, Allyn tells us that there's another way to the top. Merely drive up to Witzy's Hook on the southern side of the amphitheatre, just below our current altitude. Thanks, but we enjoyed this approach. The other way would miss out on the experience and views of magnitude. Once over the chain ladder, we stumbled through deep snow in places which had fallen a few days before, and found our 5-star accommodation. The evening views were stunning. It was so cold that night, with clear skies, one's in a state of immobilization. The panorama with the sun rising was our oyster the next morning at the head of the Tegela Falls that cascades down for nearly a kilometer. We had to bite icicles to make sure that this was on our experience meter. As we took a shortcut down the mountain, we encountered a teenager and his grandfather climbing up for lunch at the top and back down. We enjoyed our adventure, each to their own. Thank you, Allyn, for this opportunity.